good. Put your hands together for Adam Harvin.
You son of a bitch. What's up, Grove? All right. I have a problem with these modern feminist types. See, they go around acting like all women are victims. And I know that's just not the case because I was raised around a lot of strong women. My grandma, for instance, if my grandpa ever talked down to her even just a little bit, she'd be like, hey, jackass, if you keep talking to me like that, when you're asleep tonight, I'm gonna come in there and kneecap you with a baseball bat. Yeah. Sometimes my grandpa didn't even do anything wrong. I remember one time, my grandparents are in the living room watching TV, and I'm like 6 years old, playing on the floor, having race wars between my Ninja Turtles and my G.I. Joes. And the guy on the TV hits his wife. And my grandma just turns to my grandpa and was like, you ever do that to me, I'm gonna poison your food and you're gonna die a slow and painful death. Yeah, ladies, those were the good old days where if you married a jackass, you could just poison him until he died. That's a good way to get out of a marriage. But I think CSI really screwed that one up for y'all. But I would say if you're gonna try to go homemade and mix the antifreeze in with the sauce, if you try to put it on top of a frozen lasagna or something, he's gonna taste it and you're probably gonna catch some hands. But guys these days complain like, if I get divorced, she's gonna take half my stuff. But back then, they got 100% of your stuff and a nice life insurance payout. But of my two grandmas, that's not even the scarier of the two grandmas. My other grandma is a little bitty Hispanic lady, mi abuela, if you will. And she's the sweetest lady in the whole world. But my grandma had 17 kids. And all 17 of her kids are terrified of this sweet little old lady. And it never made sense to me until I came up with this theory. And I was like, maybe my grandma didn't have 17 kids. Maybe my grandma actually had 18 kids, and she just drowned one in the tub in front of the rest of them. And was like, that's what happens when you don't listen to mom. Like, there's not gonna be any spankings, there's not gonna be timeouts, one of you just go missing. And when you have 18 kids, nobody's gonna notice if one goes missing. Nobody's doing a head count on your kids. I'm pretty sure my grandpa wouldn't even notice. He'd come home from work one day and be like, wasn't there a little boy like this tall, kind of looked like me a little bit? Never mind, I think that's him. That might be him, I don't know. Yeah. 17 kids, can y'all imagine that? I don't know how you afford 17 kids, especially with all the parking tickets that my grandpa got, because everywhere he went, he just left his truck in the middle of the road, because my grandpa never pulled out of anything. Yeah. I don't know how you feed 17 kids. My grandma must have always had a bun in the oven. Yeah, that one's dumb. Now, I don't know, like, can you imagine doing laundry for 17 kids? 17 kids, that's a lot of loads. Yeah. Y'all are a bunch of sickos. I'm talking about my grandma doing laundry. Now, I don't know if any of y'all are doing the math on this yet, but that's 17 kids at 9 months per kid. That means my grandma was pregnant for almost 13 years of her life. Yeah, that's like being pregnant for the time it takes you to get from kindergarten to 12th grade. Now, some of these modern feminist types were pregnant somewhere in the time of kindergarten to 12th grade. That's different. My grandma's a saint. This isn't 16 and pregnant. This is 16 kids and pregnant. Yeah. My grandma should have had her own reality TV show. They gave the Duggars here in Arkansas a show. It did not end well. I don't know if y'all know that story, but it didn't go well, but it was called 19 Kids and Counting. They could have called my grandma's TV show 18 Kids and Subtracting. It would have been a way better show. The Duggars got a spin-off show. It was called Counting On. My grandma's spin-off show would have been called Counting Backwards. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah, but these modern feminists wouldn't be, they wouldn't like my grandma very much. They would say that my grandma supporting the patriarchy by staying home and raising 17 kids. But they would have no problem with my grandma performing an 84-month abortion in a bathtub. So but look, all I'm trying to say to these modern feminists and is that, look, I think not all women are victims, and that women are going to start having to take a little bit of responsibility for the way men act these days, because all men come from women. All men these days, most men are raised by women, and look, I have 2 daughters of my own. I know the world can be a dangerous place for women. I'm just saying we need to go back to making it a dangerous place for men who don't respect women. All right, that's my time. I'm Adam Harvin. Have a good night. Thank you.